Hey, hello everybody. This is Charles Calhoun, aka the Shade Tree Pro, here at the beautiful Grand Vista Marriott here in Orlando, Florida, where I own and operate my teaching business under the Shade Tree. Uh, People, I've got some good news, and I'm in the process of working on it. Like I said, I've always still been trying to find me a publisher, but if not, I'll self-publish. But my book that I've been working on, that I'm going to bring to light, and it's called Stack and Shift, and it's got everything to do with what I talk about in the Shade Tree Pro swing system and philosophy. I lay it out. I want you all to check in the description and take a look, and I'm gonna give you an idea of what the top-down system and why it's so unique. But I'm hoping to have this book out, ready and done by the fall, latter part of the fall, maybe first part of winter. It just all depends on how everything goes. And anybody who's written books, you know how that stuff goes. Well, I've written, like I say, I've written 4. This is my 5th one. I've got 3. I used to have 4 published, but I pulled my putting book down because I just got tired. I just didn't want to give what I do putting. That's your moneymaker. Didn't want to give that away. So got to hold on some things. But something that I'm going to show you all, that I want you all to learn, which is part of top down, and it's definitely, how I move this lower body action. We know SCAP-DROP. We can't argue that. We know we got to get that scap down to get everything hopping and popping. We know that. But there are so many different ways that you can move the lower body, whether it's turning your hips and all that. You all know that that's not what I do, and that's not the way that I do it. But I do say that, the hips are going to do what they do. The rotation is going to take care of itself. I'm a firm believer in that. But I want the lower body to be in action. I want it to be in action because from an action, there is always a reaction. Now, we know typically in the backswing, we get here, then we try to get to our lead leg and all that stuff, and that's fine. If that gets people where they want to go, that's fine. But with top down, I got a different way of how I like to feel these actions that I create. And this has everything to do with my days when I played racquetball. When we played racquetball, there was a thing, it was called the drive serve. The drive serve was basically this, is that you were standing on the line like this right here. And I did a video a little bit about this some years back. You would stand on the line like this, and like you holding the racket right here, and all of a sudden you're bouncing the ball, in this essence here. And then what you would do, you would take this trail foot and you would step right here. And then all of a sudden, as like, this is how it would go like it, because you already, quote unquote, got the scapula up. So the next movement is going to be here. So you would take that trail foot and you would step here. And then as you're bouncing that ball right there, then all of a sudden this lead foot here, as this start coming down, watch this. As this start coming down, you're planting and bam, and you're hitting the racquetball. Well, obviously, when we're hitting a golf ball, we're not stepping behind ourselves there. But we can use creative visualization to make that same sensation and feel. So in other words, when I get up to the top of my backswing, this is what I'm creating. I'm creating the action that when I get up here, that I'm feeling like my leg, or I'm pressuring my leg like it's going like this. See what I mean? It's going like this. And then, of course, because the ball's there, I'm not going to take this huge step here. I'm not that. But the mindset is that if I take from this position and I take this huge step, that means that this leg is abducting. That means it's going away. So what I'm trying to do is to create that sensation as if I'm standing still. Because here's the beauty of it, people. Just because I don't necessarily do it, I can still create the pressures as if I am doing it. So it would be something to this degree that if I was sitting here and I would take that up. I would feel like that was right there, you know, but I'm doing it with both arms. And then all of a sudden, you know, boom, that action, all I'm doing is just feeling like I'm doing it in place. So when I'm up here to the top of the swing, you know, I'm feeling like my leg is going back that way, going back there. Even though, like I said, you get to the pressure to the outside of the foot and it feels like I'm going this way. And then when I come down, it just feels like it's going back that way. So it looks like this. So, and I call it propping. So a lot of people who start their swing, they're doing it the opposite, especially, you know, especially when they start with this ground up concept. So what they're doing is they're making their leg in the swing go like this from the start, because they're talking about loading on to this trail side. You know, they making the sensation as it's going over here first, and then this is the second move that they're making. And the thing is, it's really just the opposite. Because why? Because when I make my downswing and I feel this trail leg, this is all part of stack and shift. When I make my leg over here like this in the downswing, you see that pressure, you know, I'm getting in front of the ball, all kinds of different things. But yet, when I make this move and I feel that that pressure is going back this way, then all of a sudden now, I can make that strike down into the ball. And it doesn't matter if it's just a little soft shot like this here, you know, hit a little draw, hit a little cut fade, it's all predicated on changing the action to where we are shifting and not spinning. And as I said, if you look this way here, in essence, when you make your scap drop, you know, when you make your scap up, you're feeling like you're going here. And then when you make your scap drop, boom, you know, you're feeling like your leg's going back that way. People, that takes a little bit of training, a little bit of work. But the thing is like I said, you can always create pressures, in essence, but those pressures, in a sense, has to be predicated to what the sequence is creating or teaching us to do. And when I scap drop, because that's the magic move, when I scap drop, that's how I'm training the lower body to be able to move swing after swing. And it gets you in the right position. Boom. Even the great Mo Norman said that when he makes his downswing, he said like he feel like his legs are coming further apart and getting closer together. Hey, just like they said before, just because something works doesn't mean it can't be improved. Hey, get at a try. Hey, this is Charles Calhoun, aka the Shade Tree Pro, and if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to take the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I got a beautiful book coming out. Like I said, I hope to have it by the fall. You know, just like I said, it all depends on how, you know, how fast the people do, how fast the guy who does my books for me, if I end up getting hooked up with a publisher, because, you know, what I talk about in this top down, and again, check the description box. I'll give you a better description of what top down really is and what I've created. And if you look in that description box, let me tell you, it's a game changer. The mindset of what top down is and why it's so significant, you know, and more importantly, why it's so unique. Oh, my thing's falling down here. But people, let me just remind you, as I said here, Charles Calhoun, aka the Shade Tree Pro, always good golfing.